Welcome to Yoga Stretch. My name is Katie. Today we're going to focus on the thyroid gland. Now the thyroid gland is just at the base of the neck and it's in a shape of a butterfly. And it's a very important gland because it controls the metabolism and the heart and digestive function, as well as bone maintenance and muscle control. So women over 40 particularly are at risk of having a malfunctioning thyroid, so make sure you have regular checks. Throughout the yoga today, I'm going to point out particular postures that will assist with your thyroid function. All right, let's start on the floor. So join me as we sit down. Now let's take the hands behind the knees and lift up nice and tall. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a walk with your hands down the backs of your legs and bring yourself into a comfortable lying position. Press your elbows down into the mat, lift the shoulder blades up, hug them together and flatten the back down, making sure the chest stays nice and open. Then lift your head up, tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck, and just bring your arms down by your sides, or just place one hand on top of the belly and the other on top. So just below the navel is the belly. So let's rest the elbows down comfortably, rest the hands on the belly, let the feet drop out sideways with the thighs, and start to focus on the breathing. So breathing into the front of the body, bring your breath from your chest right down to your ribs, and then bring the breath right down to the belly. Now you should be able to feel your hand rise with your breath in. And as you breathe out, the hand will start to fall. So notice that gentle movement. Now we're going to stretch our arms over our head and point the toes towards the floor. Now if your arms don't reach down to the floor, that is okay, just wherever they reach. Then reach your fingers and toes as far as you can. Point them in the opposite directions and reach. Breathe into the rib cage. Now take 5 breaths here. Now this is wonderful for your thyroid, so let's keep reaching. Okay, let's bring those hands back down by the sides and walk the feet to the end position. We're going to just bring our feet as wide as the mat and bring our arms out nice and wide. We've got a gentle twist. Now make sure your knees don't drop inwards. They need to stay up towards the ceiling and in line with the hips. So let's drop the knees to one side, lift them up as we breathe in, breathe out, lower them down to the other side. Let's continue to do that a few more times each side. Now let's finish our last 2. Then you bring your feet back to the end position, hands by the sides, and we're rolling up into a ramp. So ideally your heels should be in line with your sit bones and directly under your knees for the most support. So let's breathe into the belly and breathe out navel to spine, flatten the lower back to the floor, and you'll find the bottom of your hips come slightly forward and your buttock squeezes just a little. Breathe out, peel the vertebrae off the floor nice and slowly. Take your time. And slowly peeling each vertebrae off the floor. Lift your head up and down if you need to get some length in the back of the neck. And let's make sure the buttocks is firm. And let's try and find a stretch in the top of the hips. So lifting up. Nice stretch right down the hips, into the thighs and towards the knees. Breathe into the belly, breathe out. Start to roll the spine down, just one vertebrae at a time. And when you come halfway down, draw the navel down a little bit more strongly so it will help you flatten your lower back to the floor. If you find you're a little bit tight in the lower back, lengthen and flatten. Okay, so settling back on the hips, and that little arch in the lower back will reappear. Let's do that again. Breathing into the belly, breathe out, navel to spine, flatten the lower back to the floor. See how my pelvis just tilts a little bit forward, and then peel the vertebrae off the floor, just one at a time again. So lifting up, now firm in the buttocks, try not to lift the rib cage up, keep it flat, firm buttocks, and then try to find the stretch in the front of the thighs, the hips and thighs towards the knees. So we're going to squeeze the buttocks a little bit more, which will widen our hips and push the knees a little bit forward. Let's take 3 breaths here. Breathe into the belly, round the belly out with your breath. Now let's breathe in and breathe out as we just slowly roll each vertebrae down, just walking the vertebrae down one at a time, tightening the tummy, flattening the lower back to the floor, settling the hips down and letting the lower back arch. Okay, this time we're going to take our ankle on our knee. If you're not comfortable rolling up into a ramp with your ankle on the knee, just place your foot back on the floor and do a ramp with 2 feet. So if you're going to join me, your ankle is on your knee and you're going to draw your knee a little bit out to the side. Now we're going to breathe into the belly, breathe out, navel to spine, squeeze the buttocks, tail forward, start to peel that vertebrae off the floor. That's it, beautiful. And nice firm into the buttocks. And let's take 3 breaths here. Right into the belly. Now let's breathe in and breathe out, rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time, rounding out the lower back, lengthening through that lower spine, placing the hips down, and let's take that foot to the floor. The other ankle goes onto the knee, and let's draw that knee out to the side so we can get a stretch in the hip and the inner thigh. And let's breathe in to prepare, breathe out, navel to spine, peel the vertebrae off the floor. That's it, keep the buttocks nice and firm, the hips lifted, knee drops out to side. Let's take 3 breaths here. Right into the belly. And let's breathe in, breathe out, rolling down, just 1 vertebrae at a time, tighten the tummy, round out that lower back. And let's place the foot on the floor. Now the ramp is quite good for the thyroid, but now we're going to do a neck bridge if it's comfortable for you. Go back to ramp if neck bridge is a little strong. Okay, let's breathe into the belly, breathe out, navel to spine, and squeeze the buttocks together, peel the vertebrae off the floor, lifting up those hips. Now take the hands, link them underneath your back, and roll up onto the shoulders, so curling them underneath your body. Squeezing your buttocks, lift your hips a bit higher, chin to chest, so you need to lengthen through the back of the neck. And this is where the work in the thyroid comes into play. So bring the little fingers down towards the floor, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, breathing into the belly. So quite a strong stretch. Remember the little fingers down, arms lengthened. Try not to pull through the wrists. Keep the palms a little bit drawn towards each other underneath the back. Breathe into the belly, expand that belly out up to the ceiling. And let's take 1 more breath. Release the hands, flatten the shoulder blades onto the mat again, and roll down just 1 vertebrae at a time, really taking time to go down slowly. Pull the navel in, run that lower back out, really stretch that lower spine out. Okay, beautiful. Now we're going to bring our knees to our chest, just 1 at a time. So give the knees a nice little hug, rock from side to side, and just stretch out that lower back, nice and gently. Now we're going to take the hands behind the knees and lift the head up, drop chin to chest. Relax the shoulders down. We're going to do some spinal rolls. So just a little movement. Swing your legs just a little. Now we're going to let the feet go to the floor and roll back, but keep your chin to your chest. Now round your back out like a rounded ball. Now if you have a flat lower back, you're going to just flop down on that lower back. So you need to keep your back quite round. So let's try one or two more. So it's a nice easy roll. Now if you don't wish to roll, just stay in a seated position and we'll join you. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to just take a moment to sit, and we're going to sit in a seated position, lifting up nice and tall through the rib cage, draw the shoulders down. Bring your hands to your sides and let's breathe in, reaching up, palms touch, and breathe out, float those hands down. Let's do that again. Breathe in, big reach up, palms touch, breathe out, lower the hands down, and we've got another big breath in. Now this time we're going to breathe in, lifting the arms up, and then twist, take the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind the back, draw the shoulders down and lift the rib cage up. Turn your head to just look in front of your shoulder. Let's take 3 breaths there. Now take another 3 breaths, just around that rib cage. Beautiful. And let's breathe in, lifting the arms up, breathe out, twist to the other side. Lifting up nice and tall, shoulders down, tummy firm. Start breathing around the rib cage. Expanding those ribs sideways, backwards, forwards, as wide as you can. Okay, now let's breathe in, lifting those hands up, and breathe out, lower the arms down. We're going to change the cross of the legs, and this time we're going to do a side stretch. So breathe in, lifting the arms up, nice and high, breathe out, left hand on knee, right hand behind the back, bring the spine up tall, breathe in, breathe out, twist, and then taking the back hand, we're going to breathe in, lift it up, and breathe out, lean to the side. Now you can gradually bring your shoulder to your knee. Now if that's a little bit too far, stay up higher. Now you can always bend your elbow and draw the shoulders away from the ears. It's perfectly okay. Otherwise you can keep the arm extended. Now if you go down a bit deeper into this posture, just make sure your knees and your hips remain even. So we don't want one knee lifting up higher or the hip lifting off the floor. Take 3 breaths into the top side of the body. Let's stay for another 2 breaths. And then breathe in, lifting up, and breathe out, lower that hand down. Let's lift those arms up again, breathe in, and breathe out. Twist to the other direction, lift up nice and tall, twist. And then take your hand behind your back, breathe in, lift it up, breathe out, extend it over. Now lowering yourself down, just easing into this, making sure your hips and your knees stay quite even. Chin tucked in, nice big stretch through the side of the body. And breathe in, lifting up, beautiful, and lower your hand down. Now let's extend our legs forward. So your legs can be as wide as is comfortable for you. Some people can bring their legs out really wide. Feel free to do that. Okay, let's take that right foot to the thigh, lift the hips up, sit down, make sure the tummy's drawn in, just a little bit of a lean forward, soft knee. And we're going to place our hands down on either side of the front knee. Breathe in, lift up tall, and breathe out. Pull the navel in and rotate through that rib cage. So you're lining up your chest, the center of your chest with your knee. So let's breathe in, breathe out. Tighten the tummy, and just walk yourself forward. Now for some of you, you may just go down a little bit of the way. For others, you may be able to bring your elbows to the floor. And for others, you may be able to extend your arms, working a little bit more strongly into arms and the back. So let's pause here for several breaths. Breathe into your back and around your belly. Try not to shallow breathe, that means breathing in the chest only. You want to try and explore all of your lungs. Let's take a walk with our hands back towards our knee, and we're going to lift our right foot up, take it over the left. Make sure you're lifting your hips up, sit down. Make sure you're sitting right on those sit bones. And then wrap that left arm around the knee, right arm behind the back. Now I want you to try and lift up tall and press your knuckle down. So the arm at the back is supporting you, helping you to be nice and upright. Turn your head to look just in front of your shoulder, probably the most comfortable position. Now from here you can go to level 2, which means you're going to slide your left hand down to the outer edge of your foot and lift that foot up. It's okay to have a bent knee. And then you can lift your back hand up and thumb pointing up to the ceiling, gaze at your thumb. So shoulders are down, tummy is in, spine is lifting up nice and tall. I'm going to focus on breathing around the rib cage. Beautiful. And let's breathe out. Lower the leg down and come back to your V position. This time the left foot comes to the thigh. Lift the hips up again. Reposition yourself so you're sitting right on those sit bones. Okay, so hands on the floor either side of your knee. Lift up the rib cage and let's rotate so the knee is lined up with the center of the chest. Pull the tummy in and just walk your hands forward. So finding the best position, and just ease yourself into it. We're taking a little bit of time so you can find the stretch and just spend a little bit of time in that stretch for the maximum benefit. And of course, if you can extend your arms again, try to do exactly the same things you did to the other side. Find where your breath will go. Explore the breath. Explore the lungs with your breath. Okay, let's walk the hands back to the knee and lift up. Lift that knee up, place it on the other side of the foot, wrap the arm around the knee and bring the other arm behind the back. Now remember, lift up that rib cage, crown of the head up to the ceiling, turn your head to look in front of the shoulder, and you can stay here in this twist, or you can extend the twist to level 2, holding the outer edge of the bent knee foot and extend the leg. Lift the arm up, thumb up to ceiling, stretch your fingers out. And let's take several breaths here, just focusing on lengthening through the leg just a tiny bit more. If you push through your heel, you can get a little bit more length. Stretch the fingers out, thumb up to ceiling, and gaze at your thumb. Okay, let's lower that hand down, lower the foot down, and we're going to bring those feet just in line with our sit bones. If you can, you're going to slide those heels right to as close as you can to your sit bones, tighten your tummy and round your back. Turn your hands into fists, place them behind your back and lift your hips up. Now you can bend forward and start to unfold your legs. Now heel toe your feet just a little bit wider than the hips and hold the elbows. Chin to chest, lower the head down. Now let's move the elbows from side to side with the torso. Just releasing any tightness in the back of the legs. So right down the back of your body is a beautiful big stretch. So you might find that you're stretching a little bit more into the back of thighs or into the buttocks, perhaps the lower spine, on either side of the back, around the shoulder blades, back of the neck. Okay, let's lower those hands down to shins, breathe in and breathe out. Tighten the tummy, draw the navel up to spine, give the buttocks a little squeeze. As you stack your vertebrae up one at a time, lift your shoulders to ears, roll them back and draw them downwards. Let's give the shoulders another big roll. Breathe in and out. Okay, now give your body just a little shake. Okay, lovely. Now we're going to do 4 rounds of sun salute. Today I want you to focus on bringing your chest to your thighs for the forward fold. The forward fold movement is bending the knees, bringing the chest to thighs and letting the upper body hang down. We're coming into flat back from here, so hands can be on shins, they can be on the toes or on the floor. So flat back, drawing the shoulders towards the hips, tighten the tummy, lift the hips up and look directly at the floor. So we're getting a nice big stretch in the backs of legs and some lengthening through the spine. Forward fold, chest comes back to thighs, head drops down. So that's the move that we're going to do. So when I talk you through that, you'll know what I mean. Okay, so let's face forward on the mat and bring the feet together. Now, don't let the bones touch, so have your feet just a tiny bit apart so your feet stay comfortable. Lift your toes up and spread them out. Now we're going to breathe in, lifting up nice and tall, squeeze the buttocks, tighten the tummy and the thighs. So you want to switch on your hip girdle. Make sure you're not soft and floppy around this area. Now lift up your rib cage, the whole of your rib cage, tummy in. Now crown of the head, feel like you're reaching up through the crown of the head to the ceiling. And let's bring the shoulders to ears, roll them back and draw them downwards. So we feel some length in the spine. Now chin tucked in slightly, try to find the length in the back of the neck. You don't want to have any strain in the neck, so let's move the head around a little bit, making sure the neck is comfortable. Stretch your fingers out now and reach them down towards the floor. Okay, let's take 3 breaths here. Breathe around your rib cage. Now let's take a deep breath in, sun salute. Deep breath in, circle your arms back, reach up to the ceiling, breathe out, forward fold. Flat back, or bring your chest to your thighs just as we talked about before. Let's focus on that a little bit. And crown of head to floor. Now flat back, start to focus on lengthening through the back of the legs and lengthening through the spine. Big stretch right through the back, right through the legs, and breathe out, chest to thighs, and then step your right foot back, left foot back, plank. Now we're going to pause in plank for a moment. You can pop your knees on the floor. I want you to squeeze your buttocks together, tighten your tummy. So if your knees are lifted, you're going to work a little bit more strongly. Slide shoulders towards the hips. So you should find that when you move your shoulders towards your ears, you tighten up around the waist and the buttocks. Just perfect. Nice and firm around the thighs. And let's just lower the rib cage a little so the shoulder blades are flat on the back. Take 3 breaths. Now breathe in, plank to floor if you can, or just pop the knees down if your shoulders are not quite so good. Okay, flattening yourself down, breathe in, flatten the feet, breathe in, cobra. Keep those elbows hugging the sides of the body, lifting up. Big breath in and breathe out. Tuck toes under, lift your hips up into down dog, adjust your feet. Just make sure the feet and the hands are hip width apart and the shoulder width apart, so same distance apart as each other. Now let's walk the heels up and down, getting our stretch in the back of the ankles and the calves. Now lower both heels down, then pull your tummy up and lift your hips a bit higher. Bring your chest towards your thighs. So your arms should feel like they're lengthening and you're pressing your shoulder blades onto your back and drawing your mid-back down. So you need to have a nice flat back as much as possible. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. Now don't be tempted to walk your feet too close to your hands just so you can lower your heels down. Have a medium-sized dog, so the feet not too close to the hands. Take 3 breaths around your rib cage. Okay, let's crouch, bend the knees, look between your thumbs, and let's spring one foot forward, then the other, chest to thighs. Drop the head down for a forward fold, flat back, lengthen through the spine, stretch backs of legs. And breathe out, forward fold. Nice big breath, sun salute, circle arms back, lift up. And breathe out, hands to sides, and bring back to the chest. Deep breath in and out. And let's do that again. Deep breath in, sun salute. Breathe out, forward fold. Bend the knees, chest to thighs. Flat back, breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, step back to plank and breathe out. Plank to floor or knees and chest down. Breathe in, cobra. And breathe out, down dog. Pausing in down dog just for 2 or 3 breaths. Just moving around a little bit. Don't lock your dog. Just keep the shoulders and the hips a little bit loose. And then bend the knees, look between your thumbs, and let's use the natural spring in the hip to spring your left foot forward, right foot forward, chest to thighs, forward fold. Breathe in, flat back, and breathe out, forward fold, chest to thighs. Breathe in, sun salute. Let's lift right up, reaching up to the ceiling. Breathe out, hands to sides, back to chest. Deep breath in and out. We've got 2 to go. Let's continue. Breathe in, sun salute. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, flat back. Breathe out, forward fold, chest to thighs, step back, right foot, left foot, plank. Breathe in, breathe out, plank to floor. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, down dog. Just pausing in your down dog. Again, just loosening up a little. And then crouch, look between your thumbs. Walk, step or take just a very light jump. Landing with your chest on your thighs and flat back. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, sun salute. And breathe out, hands down to sides, back to chest in prayer. Deep breath in and out. Let's do that again. One more time, sun salute. And breathe out, forward fold. Chest to thighs, flat back, breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Step back, left foot, then right foot, plank. Breathe in. Breathe out, plank to floor. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, down dog. Pausing here for a few breaths. This is our recovery position. Sometimes a resting yoga. And then crouch, look between your thumbs. Walk or drop your feet between your hands, chest to thighs, forward fold, and flat back. Big breath in, breathe out, chest to thighs, and deep breath in, sun salute, lifting up. Breathe out, hands down to sides, back to chest in prayer, deep breath in and out. And let's lower those hands down. Give the arms and legs a nice shake. Okay, beautiful. Now we should be feeling nice and loose. Now we're going to spend just a little bit of time on some side stretches. So in order to get into those side stretches, we're going to face forward. So let's bend the knees. Let's breathe in, breathe out, bend the knees. Now tighten your tummy, draw your navel in a little, so you're nice and firm around the waist. Then lift your left foot up. Straighten your right leg. Lunge that left foot back. Lower the foot down, lower the heel down. We've got a side angle pose. So we're going to take our right elbow on our knee, palm up, close it into a fist. Now I want you to rotate your rib cage sideways. Make sure your head is in line with your spine. Try not to have it twisted up or downwards. Just try and have it in line with your spine. So just practice lining up your neck with your spine. Now the hand can stay on your hip, or you can bring it behind your back and hold your thigh. Now the wonderful thing about doing that is you can draw your shoulders right down away from your ears, tighten your tummy, and you can really get that chest open as well. So let's rest lightly on the elbow. And now don't let the shoulder sink up towards the ear, so that will be uncomfortable for your neck. So let's lengthen, and if you can bring your hand to the floor. Now, only if that's comfortable. Now the hand can go inside the foot, or you can bring it outside the foot and place it down. Now let's take 3 breaths there, so we should have a nice stretch around the hip and the top side of the rib cage. Now let's release the hand from behind our back and reach it up to the ceiling. We're going to come into a triangle now, so push through your front foot, lift up through your top fingers and through the top side of the body, straighten the front leg, and let's reach down. Now squeeze your buttocks together, tighten your tummy, and you should get a little stretch on the inner thigh. So you can rotate that thigh outwards if that works for you. Now don't worry if you can't reach the floor, you can be up a little bit higher. It's perfectly okay. So you just need to make sure that you've got that little squeeze in your buttocks, slight tail tuck, just so your hips are nice and straight. Take 3 breaths into the top side of your body. Now breathe in, reach up to the ceiling, bring your hand to hip. Let's toe heel the back foot just a little closer so we can rotate the hips forward and step the back foot next to the front foot. How did we go? Not too bad, hey? All right, let's try that on the other side. So let's bend the knees, and this time straighten the standing leg and lift the left foot up. We're going to lunge it back again. This is a wonderful balance. Lower the toes down, then the heel. Keep the knee bent in line with the ankle. Place your elbow lightly on. Close the hand into a fist, and the knuckles should face upwards. Okay, rotate that rib cage. Now squeeze your buttocks, tighten your tummy, place the hand on the hip or take it behind the back and hold the thigh. Draw the shoulders towards the hips so you can really lengthen through the spine, and you will not be leaning very heavily on your knee. Head in line with the spine, just check the neck is comfortable, and if you are all lined up, you can try bringing your hand to the floor inside your foot or outside. Now, I'm on my knuckles, you can put the flat of your hand on the floor as well. Let's take 3 big breaths right into the side of the body, the top side of the body. Now let's reach that hand up to the ceiling, stretch the fingers out. Now reach with the fingers and the side of the ribs, press the foot firmly down, and then straighten the leg. And we're in triangle. Now squeeze the buttocks together, remember, tighten the tummy. Draw the navel in, just that 10% towards the spine. Check that the neck is comfortable, chin slightly in, back of neck lengthened. Let's take 3 breaths into the top side of the body. Feel that big stretch around the hip and the ribs. Now reach with your fingers up to the ceiling, reach right up high, lower the hand down to the hip. Let's heel toe the foot a bit closer, rotate the hips forward, and let's step forward. All right, lovely. Give yourselves a shake. Now the next one, we're going to do more standing strength, but this time we're going to add in a warrior 3. So let's bend those knees, breathe in, breathe out, bend the knees, tighten the tummy, lift that left foot up, straighten the standing leg. Lunge back. We've got a high lunge this time, so you want to make sure your feet are hip width apart. Don't be tempted to bring one foot behind the other because you will find that very wobbly. So hip width apart, toes forward, heel pushing behind so you get the stretch in the ankle, back of the leg. Bring the arms up, roll shoulders back, draw those shoulders right down away from the ears. Lift your chin slightly. You can of course arch back a bit more if that's comfortable for you. Make sure your knee is in line with your ankle. Try not to let your front knee drop inwards. 3 big breaths down to the belly. And breathing in, breathe out, hands down to chest. Now lean your body weight forward. Now some people can just lift their back foot up into warrior three. But if you want to look after your knee, just jump your foot in a little bit to take the load out of the knee when you lift up. Okay, lifting that leg up. Now squeeze your buttocks if you can, leg hip height. Tighten the tummy, draw it up. Shoulders head towards hips, so you're really strengthening into the back. Toes rotate towards the floor. 5 toes point at the floor, and that will help us know that our hips are nice and parallel to the floor. Let's take 3 breaths. Now lower your back foot down, not too far away, lower the heel down. Front leg nice and straight. So this is our pyramid and head to knee pose. So if you need to adjust your feet, it's okay. Now what we want is we want to make sure both hips are facing forward. So we need to squeeze our buttocks inwards together. Okay, so from here we're going to breathe in, lift up nice and tall through the crown of the head, pull the tummy in and start to bend forward. Now for our pyramid, for some of you, you're going to just bend a small distance. For others, as long as you don't twist your hips, you can probably go halfway down. Now for those who'd like to go a little deeper into a head to knee pose, hands on shins or hand to floor, pull your tummy up, your navel up to your spine and head to knee. Now breathe into your back. Check that your front knee is not locked. Okay, now from here, we're going to bend the front knee, put the weight in the front leg, rest the shoulder, the inside of the shoulder on the knee, and take the hands behind the back. Rest them on the back, look at your back foot. So you've got quite a bit of weight on that front knee. You can lift your arms up for level 2 in wide prayer, or you can press the palms together in pistol grip. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Now this does work a little bit more strongly into the fronts of the shoulders. So if that's uncomfortable for you, go back to wide prayer. Let's take our 3 breaths here. Now lower the hands to the floor, back knee down, flatten the foot. Now you might like to slide this knee away a bit further to get a bigger stretch in the hip. Take the right hand inside the foot, toe heel the foot out a little wider. Then let's bend the knees, or bend the elbows I should say. Chin to chest, look at your thighs, or bring your elbows right down to the floor. Now, if that's a bit strong, just come up onto your hands and bend your elbows. So let's stay here for 3 big breaths. So breathe down to the belly and the lower back. And you should feel your hips expand out with your breath in. Okay, now, so we want to lift up, take the hand outside the foot, toe heel the foot, just in line with the hip. Sweep the arms back, lift them up into wide prayer in our crescent position. Now arms can go back further if you have the shoulder mobility, so feel free to move your arms further back. Breathe into the belly. Now lower the hands down, tuck the back toes under and step the back foot next to the front foot. Take the hands on shins, breathe in and breathe out. Tighten the tummy and let's stack those vertebrae out one at a time, giving the back a nice big stretch on our way up. Shoulders to ears, roll them back and down. Place your hands on your hips again. Let's bend the knees. Now this time we're going to lift our right foot up and stretch it back. Now on the back toe, we've got high lunge, so sweep the arms forward and up, roll the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. And just finding that arm position, perhaps the back position, arching back a little bit more if you want to. And then once you're settled and balanced, take 3 breaths right into your belly. Stretch your belly out, really setting tension around the stomach. Breathe in, reach up, breathe out, hands to chest. And let's lower the back heel down. Straighten the front leg. Now, heel toe the back foot perhaps a little closer. Straighten up those hips. Oh, now we've got to bring the body weight forward. And then we're going to lift the back leg up into our warrior three. Okay, so let's get ourselves back on track. Warrior three, tummy tightens, shoulders head towards hips, toes point to the floor. Nice warrior three position, wonderful back strengthener, wonderful buttock strengthener. Take 3 breaths. Now lower the back foot down, straighten the front leg. Now we're ready for our head to knee pose and our pyramid to start off with. So make sure those hips are nice and straight and forward. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Tighten the tummy, start to lean forward. Now move from your hips, keeping a nice long back, nice and straight, big stretch in the back of that front leg. And just bring yourself into the position where you have a nice long spine. Okay, you can stay here in pyramid or pull your tummy in, round your back out. Hands to shins or hands to foot. Check your front knee that it's not locked. Give it a little shake. Keep that joint loose. Breathing into your back. Now bend your front knee. You can step your back foot away if you want to. Rest your left shoulder onto your left knee. Look at your back foot and place your hands on your lower back. So this is our humble warrior. Okay, hands can stay on the lower back for level 1 or level 2 wide prayer. Reach your fingers up to the ceiling. Or level 3 pistol grip. Press the palms together and reach the index fingers up to the ceiling. Focus on your breathing. Now let's bring those hands down to the floor and the back knee down. Toe heel your foot a bit wider. Take the hands inside the foot and slide the knee away. Come down to your elbows or just bend your elbows. Okay, let's look at our thigh. So the back of the neck can stretch. Breathe into the belly. All right, lifting up, hand outside the foot, toe heel your foot back in. Now let's go back into our low lunge. Sweep the arms forward and up, roll the shoulders back and down, stretch those fingers out. Lift the chin slightly, try to reach your arms up if you can. If not, just pick a more comfortable position for your arms. Breathe into the belly. Let's bring the hands down, tuck the back toe under, step the back foot next to the front. And let's take a deep breath in, sun salute, lift right up nice and high. And breathe out, just bring the hands straight down to the chest. And let's take 3 breaths here. Okay, beautiful. So just give yourselves a shake. Now we're going to do a chair pose with a twist and some wide leg down dog. Okay, so let's face forward and bring the hands to the sides. Take a deep breath in, sun salute, reach up and breathe out. Bring the thumbs to heart center, pull the tummy in, push the hips right back. Have your feet together so you can press your knees together. You can have a look to see if your knees are stacked on top of your ankles. And then take your left elbow onto your right elbow onto your left knee. Pull your tummy in, draw shoulders away from ears. Now this is a level 1 twist. And it's quite a comfortable one. If you want to go a little bit further, go to level 2, elbow outside the knee, draw the navel in and rotate the rib cage just a little bit more. So let's take a few breaths here. Now come into a forward bend, chest and thighs, let the head hang down. Take a deep breath in, sun salute, lift right up, nice and high. Breathe out, hands to chest, push those hips back. That's it, lovely. And then take that left elbow on the right knee, pull the tummy in, make sure you're lengthening through your lower back and just check your ankles and knees are stacked. Turn your head sideways if it's comfortable, and let's pause here. Go to level 2 if you want to, elbow outside the knee, stronger twist. Let's take 3 breaths here. Come to a forward fold, step your left foot back, walk your hands around so your legs are in a wide leg stance and the feet are parallel. Walk the hands forward for a wide leg down dog. So just walk the hands forward enough to move your hips in front of your heels. Then pull your tummy up, lock between your legs and just bring your chest towards your thighs. Now if you have not quite calculated where your hands should go, then just adjust them as you try to line your hips up with your ankles. Now pull the tummy up, make sure that you're nice and even. Now if you need bent knees, please do take them. So it's quite a big stretch in the hips. Okay, lovely. Now I want you to draw your shoulders away from your ears, flatten your mid-back. So the most common problems are shoulders creeping up to ears and bulging mid-backs. So let's pause here. Nice long arms, nice flat back. Take 3 big breaths. Right around your rib cage, front and back and sideways. Stay for another 2 breaths. Now let's walk the hands underneath the chest. Tighten the tummy, lift the arms out to the sides. Now again, you need to hug the shoulder blades together to activate your back muscles to hold those heavy arms up. Okay, beautiful. Now I want you to look forward and hinge back up to standing. Place your hands on your hips and you can heel toe your feet in back to under your hips. Lovely. Now we're going to do some little bit of work on the floor. So I'm going to turn sideways again, bring my arms to my sides. Take a deep breath in, sun salute. Lift up nice and long and tall and breathe out, forward fold. Bring your chest to your thighs. Now step 1 foot back and the other foot back into plank. Now we're going to plank down to the floor or bring the knees and chest down. Extend your arms forward. And we're going to do an alternate arm leg raise. So lifting the right arm, left leg, your head and your chest. Breathe out, lower your arm and leg down. Right, breathe in, change sides, breathe out to lower. And let's do this several times. Okay, now finish off your last one. Now we're going to lift arms and legs. This is wonderful for the thyroid, so I want you to lift your arms and legs up if you can, or continue with alternate arm leg raises. All right, let's breathe in, lift arms and legs. That's it, lovely. Breathe out, lower them down. Let's breathe in, lift up again, breathe out to lower. Next time we're holding. Breathe in, lift, and let's hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands under your chest, cobra, lift up, and let's come into child's pose. So on the knees, and what I want you to do is wrap your arm around your waist, hold the side of your body with your hand, then take the other arm around the waist, holding the side of the body, lift up nice and tall, and as you breathe out, I want you to drive your arms into your belly, and bring your head down to the floor if it reaches. Anything similar is good. Okay, so it should be tight around the waist. Try to bring your head towards your knees. Breathe into your back. Now let's breathe in, lifting up. And I want you to take the top arm and place it below the bottom arm. So now arms have changed position. So let's breathe in, lift up tall, breathe out. Tighten the tummy, draw the navel into spine and bend forward, pressing those arms firmly into the waist. Breathe into your back. All right, lifting up again. And now we're going to place our hands on the mat, cross the ankles, walk your hands back to your ankles and take a seat. Now if that's uncomfortable, just bring your legs forward any way you can. Okay, so we've got a boat pose, so we're going to drop the knees out to the side, or should I say a V boat pose. So hold your toes with your fingers or place your hands over the top of your toes. So any discomfort in the toes, just hold your feet. Okay, let's lift one foot up, take a big stretch. Now with this, you'll find that you'll be able to stretch your legs out a little bit more than you can if you just did a forward bend. So a nice big stretch up to the ceiling and again. And now we're going to turn this into a balance. Now if your balance isn't good, just continue with the single leg lifts. Lift the heels up. Now you can stay here or lift both legs up. Now if your legs are nice and stretchy, they'll straighten out. If not, they'll have a little bend in them. And let's draw the shoulders down, bring the rib cage forward, chest forward, and let's breathe. Let's bring those feet down. Lovely. All right. And we're going to take our hands behind our knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Walk the hands down the back of the legs and roll yourself down to the floor. Now we're going to do some more postures that help stimulate our thyroid. So the first one is bringing the knees to chest and just lift those hips up and lower your hips down again so your spine is in a nice position, particularly your lower back. Just rock from side to side. Make sure you have some length in the back of the neck. Now let's lift those legs up to rod pose. Now if you can, go into this position for level 2, hold backs of legs or hands on the floor. Level 3 is the wonderful stretch, nice stimulation for the thyroid. Lift your hips up, coming into shoulder stand. Place the fingers behind the back, thumbs around the waist, above the hips. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Now we should be resting on our shoulder blades and the back of the neck. Let's rotate the ankles. We need to spend just a little bit of time up here to make sure the blood flows right down into our neck where we want to work into the thyroid. Okay, let's rotate the ankles around the other way. Let's try one more. Okay, bring the knees to the nose and then place your hands on the floor. Start to roll your spine down one vertebrae at a time. If you want to, you can extend your legs up to the ceiling and lower the legs to the floor. Make sure you're quite careful and switch on your waist. Otherwise, you're going to bend your knees like I am and place your feet on the floor. Okay, extend your leg one at a time. We've got a fish pose, which is also very good for the thyroid. So lift one hip up, place the hand underneath the buttocks and sit on the back of that hand. Lift the other hip up, palm to the floor, sit on the back of the hand. Now we're going to walk those elbows into the center of the spine. So that's level 1 fish. Level 2, press the elbows into the mat, lift up that torso, and lower your head down to the floor, just very lightly touching down on the floor with the head. If you wish to go into a higher level posture, please feel free to do that. Breathe into the belly. This is also good for focusing the breath into the back of the throat, which is also a very good breathing exercise for the thyroid. Now press with the elbows into the mat. Lengthen through the spine. Place yourself down carefully and then walk the elbows from under your back and take one hand at a time away from under your hips. Let's walk the feet to the end position. And you can bring your feet as wide as the mat and drop the knees inwards. Or you can bring your soles of feet together, knees out wide, into butterfly pose and just stretching gently into hips. Now let's press the elbows in the floor, lift shoulder blades up, hug them together. Flatten the back down and make sure the chest is nice and open. Left hand on heart center, right hand on belly, and just rest the elbows comfortably on the floor. Lift the head up, take the chin in and lengthen through the back of the neck, placing your head down. Start to breathe into your belly. Now let's take several breaths here. Encouraging the settling of the back on the stretching of the inner thigh, and loosening up of the hips. Okay, when you're ready, extend your legs, come into a comfortable lying position. Now drop your feet and your thighs outwards. So you might want to just roll your feet inwards and outwards and then drop them outwards. And just make sure the shoulder blades are flat on the floor, perhaps palms up to encourage that. Check the back of the neck. Now also check your jaw to make sure it's soft. Your teeth are a little bit apart. Your face is soft, your neck comfortable. And breathing in to the front of the body and breathe out. Let the navel sink down towards the spine. Let the arms go limp and soft. And the hips soften. Legs relaxed. Toes relaxed. You could stay in this lovely relaxing position for as long as you like. Just press pause. Now you can also stay with me and end your practice shortly. Okay, let's bring our breath down to our belly. Move the fingers and the toes just gently. Walk your feet to the end position and roll to your side. Just resting your head on your arm. And lifting yourself up into a seated position. Resting hands on knees and just lift up the rib cage. Crown of head up to ceiling, just gently. Chin drops slightly towards the collarbones. Relax the neck and shoulders downwards. And lower the hands to sides, breathe in. Arms ahead, above the head in prayer, breathe out, thumbs to heart center. Feel the connection of your hands to heart. And breathe down into the belly, up into rib cage, shoulders and back. And breathe out into back, shoulders, ribs and belly. Breathe into the belly, ribs, shoulders and back. And breathe out, back, shoulders, ribs and belly. Take one more deep breath in and out. Just at your own time,
peaceful heart and a peaceful mind, and a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, and if you like the video, press like and make a comment. Otherwise, subscribe to my channel and get regular updates. Please join me again.
Step up, palm to the floor, sit on the back of the hand. Now we're going to walk those elbows into the center of the spine. So that's level 1 fish. Level 2, press the elbows into the mat, lift up that torso, then lower your head down to the floor, just very lightly touching down on the floor with the head. If you wish to go into a higher level posture, please feel free to do that. Breathe into the belly. This is also good for focusing the breath into the back of the throat, which is also a very good breathing exercise for the thyroid. Now press with the elbows into the mat, lengthen through the spine, place yourself down carefully and then walk the elbows from under your back and take one hand at a time away from under your hips. Let's walk the feet to the end position. And you can bring your feet as wide as the mat and drop the knees inwards. Or you can bring your soles of feet together, knees out wide into butterfly pose and just stretching gently into hips. Now let's press the elbows in the floor, lift shoulder blades up, hug them together, flatten the back down and make sure the chest is nice and open. Left hand on heart center, right hand on belly, and just rest the elbows comfortably on the floor. Lift the head up, take the chin in and lengthen through the back of the neck, placing your head down. Start to breathe into your belly. Now let's take several breaths here. Encouraging the settling of the back on the stretching of the inner thigh, and loosening up of the hips. Okay, when you're ready, extend your legs, come into a comfortable lying position. Now drop your feet and your thighs outwards. So you might want to just roll your feet inwards and outwards and then drop them outwards. And just make sure the shoulder blades are flat on the floor, perhaps palms up to encourage that. Check the back of the neck. Now also check your jaw to make sure it's soft. Your teeth are a little bit apart. Your face is soft, your neck comfortable. And breathing in to the front of the body and breathe out. Let the navel sink down towards the spine. Let the arms go limp and soft. And the hips soften. Legs relaxed. Toes relaxed. You could stay in this lovely relaxing position for as long as you like. Just press pause. Now you can also stay with me and end your practice shortly. Okay, let's bring our breath down to our belly. Move the fingers and the toes just gently. Walk your feet to the end position and roll to your side. Just resting your head on your arm. And lifting yourself up into a seated position. Resting hands on knees and just lift up the rib cage. Crown of head up to ceiling, just gently. Chin drops slightly towards the collarbones. Relax the neck and shoulders downwards. And lower the hands to sides, breathe in. Arms ahead, above the head in prayer, and breathe out, thumbs to heart center. Feel the connection of your hands to heart. And breathe down into the belly, up into rib cage, shoulders and back. And breathe out into back, shoulders, ribs and belly. Breathe into the belly, ribs, shoulders and back. And breathe out, back, shoulders, ribs and belly. Take one more deep breath in and out. Just at your own time. And have a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind and a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. And if you like the video, press like and make a comment. Otherwise, subscribe to my channel and get regular updates. Please join me again.